Adventurers, welcome to the last draft. I'm Barkeep, otherwise known as Chris, and today we're doing our World Building Wednesday stream where we world build on Wednesdays. Last time we did this a few weeks ago, we were finishing up, or we started a trading outpost in the mountains in the Heart Peak Pass, where the mysterious here in the middle you can see, where mysterious things always happen. Sorry, hold on 1 second. Let me get my chat, make sure the chat's out so I can see. Oh God, what happened? OBS, what are you doing? Oh jeez. Everything's immediately going wrong. It wouldn't be a D&D stream if there weren't technological difficulties. One moment, please. Let's get that out. Get my chat out. There we go, okay. Whew. All these dockable windows. I'm just accidentally putting them in random places. Okay, let's start this over, shall we? Hey there, adventurers! Welcome back to World Building Wednesdays, where we world build on Wednesdays. I'm Barkeep, also known as Chris, and yeah, we're gonna be finishing the trading outpost that we were creating last time, called Cormont. Let's get the document up here. Get the stream starting soon out of here too. The stream has started. Okay, so as a refresher, let's turn the mic down just a hair. How's that, chat? Is that a little bit better? I feel like I was screaming in your ears. A little bit more? Okay. So, to touch up on what we talked about last time, Cormont is a town. Here, let's get the map up as well. Heart Peak Pass, right where that tunnel is in the middle of the mountains. It goes into that mountain for a few ways before you come to a little village set up that is the sort of like border town, or acts almost as the border itself between these two continents, Lucara and Karth. And so a lot of trade flows through here. It is a very interesting city in that above where this like big hollowed out area where the city is a massive gemstone that's like just naturally occurring, like huge mounds of gem deposits that actually during the day glow with the light of the sun. Some sort of weird natural magic that allows everybody to see in this little settlement. So last time I did this, I sort of wrote as I was, on stream and kind of came with stuff on the spot, which we're gonna still do a little bit of that, but I didn't want there to be as much dead air as there was last time. So I wrote a bunch of stuff ahead of time that I'm gonna just kind of go through and talk about, like what I was thinking about when I came up with this stuff. And then, if we have some ideas, or if anybody in chat has an idea, feel free to share it. Or if there's any kind of comments, kind of want to do some kind of like collaborative thing. So, like I said before, Cormont is the name of this trading outpost. It was established by the adventurers of Respite, which is the town here in the middle. That is where all the adventurers come from, and whereas the last draft is placed, and so on and so forth. So, I don't remember what my point was, but oh right. So as time goes on, Cormont becomes this resting place for adventurers and travelers who are, traveling to and fro through the continent. And eventually becomes this small settlement and trading outpost. It became a shared outpost and border town between Lucara and Respite, and officially marks the border between the two continents. And it's a place where the merchants who are coming through and trying to sell their goods can settle and rest before continuing their long journey back to where they came from. I'm gonna move myself. Maybe I'll make myself a little bit bigger. Yeah, there we go. It's a little bit better, right? Maybe I'm covering too much. Okay. So, merchants that are coming through from either side have to submit to checking their goods through whichever area they're coming from. So if they're coming from the Lucara side down to the Carthan side, the adventurers from Respite will be checking their goods and making sure that no weird smuggling or anything is like that's going on. Where the reverse is true, where if they're coming from Carthan going to Lucara, the Lucaran officials are the ones who will search the goods and, again, make sure there's no weird shit, like the adventurers trying to slip some weird thing into Lucara. So, one of the things that I worked on, which I think is kind of an important thing when you're establishing any kind of city, is you need to know the different factions and guilds and whatever kind of other organizations that make up that town. Where with Respite, that everything was sort of based around guilds, right? So you've got the Adventurers Guild, the Merchants Guild, all of that stuff. Just because that's how, Respite was an adventuring town that threw off the mantle of the Empire and kind of went from being a company town, an adventurer company town, to being a standalone city governed by themselves. And so, that's why guilds are such a huge thing in Respite. But because we're in a trading outpost, the biggest factions that you'll see here are different trading companies. I came up with three of them that I thought were kind of interesting, and I think each of them has a different vibe that I kind of wanted to capture. So let's get the other window back. So we're talking about guilds and factions. The first one I came up with is called the Flat Hill Trading Company. They are one of the oldest trading companies, once an agent of the Carthan Empire, and thus, because of that, has some of the most robust trading routes amongst all of the other trading and merchant companies that exist in the world. As the Empire's power began to dwindle, though, more and more nobles turned to infighting over what pieces of the Empire remained, so Flat Hill Trading Company sort of extricated itself from the Empire, effectively sealing its fate and slow decay. They maintain several large warehouses within the outpost, so a lot of stuff is coming in between. It's such a, you have to think, like, this actually was something I wasn't really thinking about until right now, but because this is one of the only, right here up through the Heartpeak Pass is the easiest method to get from Karth to Lucero, besides going through the ocean, which is also another dangerous and deadly route. People are constantly coming through, and more, and so there's always trade coming through. So sometimes I'm assuming that, people are gonna need the space with the constant trade, because not even just going to Respite, but you have to think that since it's such a huge major trading outpost, I'm sure it goes through Respite and then down into what remains of the Carthan Empire, so this would be probably a busy ass trading town outpost. Maybe it's almost less of an outpost and more of a town. I mean, maybe that's something that we can change in the future. Maybe that'll be something that we figure out when we potentially do the map building. But so yeah, that's the Flat Hill Trading Company. Sort of once was like the Empire's official trading company, and probably was used a lot of methods to drive other trading companies out of business or out of their territory or whatever. Now operates within those trade routes, having maintained those trade routes because the Empire is so weak and unable to really maintain itself. Effectively one of the most powerful organizations on the planet. Next one I came up with was Vembrant and Fam. It's kind of a funny, a weird one. I just spawned in my head, but created by a human named Wilhelm Vembrant, notorious for having too many kids, all of whom usually end up working for the family businesses. A company used to be called Vembrant and Sons until one of his many enterprising daughters, named Fatima Vembrant, secretly bought a majority share of his company so that when he died, she could control the company and edge out all of her siblings and even her older brother, who was supposed to inherit the whole business. She was just had so much business acumen, was nah, I'm gonna just secretly buy up all these shares and all these properties and stuff, so that by the time that old man kicks the damn bucket, she basically has control of the whole company. So she soon changes the name after taking control, changed the name of the company to Vembrant and Fam, to properly give representation to all of her family members that work in in the trading company. And under her leadership, the company began to accrue even more wealth and power throughout the land. She is known to be Fatima has been known to be extremely clever and business savvy, much more so than her conservative father. Vembrant and Fam maintains several large warehouses within the outpost. I see the first two as being kind of the general goods, and supplies and building materials and normal mundane stuff, let's say. The next one, the Silver Streak Co., is a more recent company that has been expanding rapidly since its creation 50 years ago. They specialize in difficult-to-find rarities and speculate that, and some speculate that they have. I actually changed that. That's some speculate. They specialize in difficult-to-find rarities, and many speculate that they have ties to criminal enterprises and bribe officials for easier access to ports and for their cargo to be overlooked. Like, hey, maybe don't look in this box, and here's 1,000 gold. I don't know. Here's 10 platinum. Go look that over that way. Look at this box. This box is fine, and so is that one. But you don't need to look in there because of how fine it is. They've also been known to employ adventurers who have been kicked out of the Adventurers Guild, and as such, there's a major beef between the AG and the Silver Streak. They only maintain one warehouse within the outpost, and that's, I think, because of the tension between them and the Adventurers Guild, and because they more specifically deal in rare artifacts, strange materials, and minerals. So I kind of see them as having a more specialized warehouse for rare things rather than the other two that are like, you know, have everything. So those are the top 3 companies that I kind of figure would be the major players, not only in Cormont but in most of the world as well. I also see these as an easy way for a dungeon master to have clients to give out like quests to from the Adventurers Guild. So if you were using this as a setting or something, you know, any one of these guilds could have any number of quests where the Silver Streak Co. might have some kind of quest that's like track down. Maybe it's even like, you know, not like morally gray, like not entirely. Like, oh, there's this guy who owns this thing, and if for his safety, it'd be better if we had it. That kind of thing. You know, like maybe a little more like rogue and theft with them, whereas for, you know, the Flathill Trading Company, maybe it's something as simple as, oh, this trading route is blocked, go and figure out what's up and clear it, or whatever for us. Or if you're doing an evil campaign, maybe it's some like drive out this group of people so that we can take over this land. You know, you have a lot of different options with these kinds of organizations to have different quests for your players. So the Adventurers Guild does have a presence here in Cormont. Mostly, they have a small warehouse where adventurers can like use to store their loot, and they can buy supplies there. And if there's an emergency, potentially communicate back to Respite through some magic that they have there to be able to communicate with the Adventurers Guild. I feel like it's probably a small office, and then a contingent of people who are the ones that are searching things coming in and out of town. One of the other, I haven't really written that much about them, but one of the other guilds or factions will be whatever the Lucaran guards and officials will be. I have a kind of vague idea of how I want Lucara to be laid out as a society, but I have to do some more research about, like, I kind of want it to be like a weird anarchical state where a bunch of communities kind of share like a bunch of resources. And yeah, I don't know, I have to do some more research into how that stuff works, but I kind of almost want them to be like a loose, less like a country, but a collection of a bunch of communities that like take turns taking care of different aspects of running a country. I don't know. I have to think about it more. But I kind of want it to be a very strange place. So who knows? Well, that's something that we'll get into when we start building other continents. Maybe that's something that we'll do on stream. And then one of the final, I mean, I'm sure there are other guilds, but one of the last ones that I wrote about was the City Watch, or the Watch maintains a presence here from for the guards from Respite, who shares the duty of patrolling its streets with the Lucaran guards. So there are always guards from Respite and then guards from Lucara that do the patrols. And there's not like any one particular person that's in charge of the outpost. There's not like a lot of rules in particular. It is just sort of we keep the peace here, and also smuggling is we don't deal with that smuggling, but maybe some people do, that kind of thing. I came up with I was thinking about having there be more than one bar. Usually I like to have a couple of bars just to give people some variety of some choices to like, oh, let's go to this one, sounds like more our style. But I kind of thought it would be fun to have a very strange, like, massive tavern that takes care of everything that this place needs. So this tavern I am speaking of is called the Post, which is here, let's get this window. Bloop. It's called the Post, which is the only tavern in all of Cormont, like I said. If you want a place to rest, to eat, and to drink, the Post is your only option. But it doesn't make it a bad option. The Post is a massive tavern that spans 3 connected buildings, each one a different style from the last. Gives it a sort of ramshackle and uneven look to it. But stepping inside, all of that falls away to a clean and warm building, its walls decorated with many oddities brought back by adventurers, many of which are labeled with what the object is, how it came to be in the Post's possession, and who donated it. It's almost like if you've ever been to like a Ruby Tuesdays, when there's like shit all over the wall, and it's like, this is a photo of Chuck Mortimer from 1924, or something like that. It's like that, but for shit that adventurers has left behind or has donated to the tavern for them to put on their walls. So, like weapons, artifacts, strange minerals, all manner of objects adorn the walls of the Post, all with stories to tell, some well-known, some lost to time. One such wall sports a portable hole that is forever placed onto the wall. If you don't know what a portable hole is, it is like, it's like in the Looney Tunes that like they would put up that black hole and they'd be able to go through it. It's like that, but it's a little extra dimensional space. I think it's like 10 feet down or something, but you can store stuff in it. So there is on the wall a portable hole that has been plastered onto it, and within it is a memorial memorial that is for fallen adventurers who have fell like saving an innocent person. I came up with like an interesting little backstory for it, just because I kind of got onto a roll where this portable hole had been used during the war between the adventurers of Respite and the Carthan Empire to sneak dozens of refugees and deserters from the Imperial Army into Lucara during the war. The owner of the portable hole was eventually discovered and murdered by Imperial officers, along with the 6 others that he had been stowing away, attempting to cross the checkpoint. After the war, the hole fell into the hands of the Adventurers Guild after Cormont had been liberated, and it was gifted to the Post. It now exists as a memorial for fallen adventurers who died trying to save innocent lives. So, basically, just a sad little detail. I just can't help myself sometimes. But also, this is a great opportunity to sprinkle in some of the lore that that I want people to be able to know, like especially new players. So Cormont and the Heart Peak Pass are going to be some of the first places that I send players to. Sorry, I just wanted to adjust my mic, but I didn't want to squeak it in everybody's ears. I need some WD-40. I need some... I just thought of that YouTube clip where Hank Hill he goes to take out off a WD-40's lid, and it doesn't come off. So he reaches into a holster at his side, and he pulls out a smaller WD-40 and sprays the lid of the other one and takes it off. Anyway, tangent. But we were talking about the post, and yes, so the portable hole came with an interesting idea, and so it's a way for me to be able to drop some lore that I want players to know. Start that over so I can have a better cut for the YouTube video. I hope you understand. So I can use this portable hole and this like memorial to drop some lore that I need my players to know. And because Cormont and the post is going to be one of the first places that the players go to when I introduce them to this world. Well, if they're playing at lower levels anyway. And because Cormont is one of the first places that I'm going to have my players be going to when they start in this world to get them familiar, it's a great place to drop some of that lore. About the beginnings of Respite and the Adventurers Guild. So it's good to sprinkle those kinds of details throughout the world, and sometimes it's good to do it instead of having like an NPC be like, "Let me tell you about the age of the Empire," and then an old guy at a tavern or whatever tells you about this specific thing. You can kind of have some environmental storytelling where you can show, I don't know, like a sword that has been burned and melted in the memorial and has a plaque of like, here lies Torben Buttwitch, and he saved a village by diving into a dragon's mouth and getting burned up. Maybe better than that, but you get what I'm saying. You can use, instead of just having someone tell the details, you can just you can leave these little screenshots or these little pieces of the environment to allow players to kind of build their own story in their head for what happened, rather than a person being like, "It was the 1802s and a platinum was actually 100 gold pieces." And we didn't have any of those fancy revivifies, no sirree. If you died, you died. So yeah, that's one of the few taverns inns. I didn't really I'll probably at some point make a general store or something for people to just for people who are there. But generally I feel like probably each one of these trading companies has a place that you can buy supplies from, so like maybe it's not necessary for there to be a general store. I don't think that there would be like a magic shop here. That would be something that you would find in Respite. But yeah, I came with a couple of NPCs. There's one that's like that's started but I haven't written anything down, but I can kind of spout off. But I came with the 2 NPCs who would be the people that they would meet if your players were to stay at the Post, which is that tavern we were talking about. So Marcus Dorr is the head chef of the Post and husband to Mandy, who's the owner. This orc cooks meals for dozens of guests daily, seemingly without a single day of rest. However, he's always cheerful and in good spirits. He's also quite a baker, and before marrying his wife, once worked in the world-famous Heaven Sent Bakery in Respite. He's an older orc now, bit on the chunky side, kind of like me, but in the way where you know he could still kick your ass if he needed to, unlike me. Strong, powerful forearms from working dough constantly, and he's tall, even for an orc. He wears his graying black hair in a high ponytail and is clean shaven. So that's kind of how I will summarize NPCs in this world, or in my documents, right? Like usually I have these overview documents that are just this is what I pull up when the party shows up in this town, and I can have all the information that I can kind of quickly look through. Like, okay, this is what Marcus looks like. This is what his occupation is. These are his wants. I'll usually throw something like that in there, and so I can just quickly look through, boom, boom, boom. Oh, and then usually I haven't come up with voices for them yet, but usually I'll also put in like whatever this accent. He has like a Brooklyn accent, and he's more gruff sounding, or you know, she sounds high pitched, or whatever it ends up being. So that's kind of how I try to, without having to have so many documents where I'm like, oh, I gotta click through to my NPCs folder, to my Marcus Dorr outline. It's like, these are the quick boom, boom, boom. And then a lot of it you can just kind of improvise on the fly. So that's Marcus. Cinnamon roll, as much of a cinnamon roll as the cinnamon rolls that he bakes. But Mandy Dorr is the owner of the Post and wife to Marcus. This half-orc has family ties to one of the original founders of the tavern, who I think is probably going to have been someone who lived in the city when it was being occupied by the Imperial soldiers, and then who probably helped refugees and deserters flee through the mountain pass into Lucara so they could have a better life. She can be seen doing everything from bartending and helping Marcus in the kitchen to managing and running the various rooms and guests who come to stay at the Post. Unlike her husband, she is on the shorter side, and she proudly proclaims that she's got some dwarf in her. Her dark brown hair has a copper sheen to it, and light curls that end just above her shoulders. And she has a motherly personality, but not like kind. I mean, she is kind. She's strict but kind, and always trying to get you to eat more food. So she's, you know she loves you, but also because she loves you, she expects you to have high standards of yourself. And then the last person I came up with was going to be a dwarf bard who is one of the clerks at the Adventurers Guild office for the warehouse. Bart Agerton, who also plays at the Post most nights, and he is generally the guy that you talk to when you need to buy supplies, or you need to contact Respite, or you need to store something in the warehouse. He's your guy. And that's all I kind of had written. How long has it been? 40 minutes. Hey, that's not bad. That's actually kind of going on time pretty well. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to answer and ask in chat if you have any questions about this specifically, or about building cities in general, or how I came up with names, whatever. But I think the next thing that we might do is I might go into Inkarnate and try to design what Cormont looks like, and then maybe we can figure out where some of these places that we just talked about go and where they exist. See if I can pull that up. I can see that my air conditioning is kind of showing up on my microphone. Is that super annoying? It's just so damn hot, and I sweat so goddamn much. I didn't want to be sweaty on stream. Can you blame me for not wanting to be sweaty on stream, chat? I don't think anyone can blame me. And if you can, you're a meanie. I might go get a beer. I kind of want a beer. Am I allowed to drink beers on stream? Alright, we're gonna change this up. Nope, not that. Kidding me? Of course we're getting 4K. What do you think this is? Load that shit up. Hardware acceleration. I thought I had that on already. I think it's probably fine. Maybe I shouldn't have made it. Maybe fine, I'll go back. Oh, fine. I'll make one that's not 4K. God. Let's go with high. That's probably fine. Right? That's probably fine. Whatever. So this is how I created... This is how I created this map. Was through Inkarnate, which is a pretty cool resource. You can use it to make battle maps too, which I've used for one of the last draft streams. What's up, Flickwith? We're doing a world building stream where we world build a settlement for Dungeons and Dragons. Just finished talking about Cormont, which is a trading city, a trading outpost in between two different continents. And we were going to start building out the city. Blam. So you can use different textures and colors and stuff to denote different environments and different regions and stuff. Yes, I can see chat. Hello, chat. It is good to see you. Watercolor cities. Don't know which one of these I want. Maybe this? Well, actually, I guess it's underground, so we would want something something darker. Like a more gray one. Well, these street textures might do it. Something like this. Definitely lagging a little bit. Maybe I should turn hardware acceleration on. That works. Yeah. Can you draw roads? Path? Interesting. It's not exactly what... Oh, that's probably for, like, map stuff. There's different stamps and stuff, so, like once I get, like, roads and stuff, you can start placing down, like, different houses and shit. Bigger. Fuck around with them. We don't need the houses yet, though. So maybe I can use a road texture here. That the foreground, that you would be able to see it above the background. Right? I think that makes sense. I'll try it on the background. And now I can see it. This is another thing that I should figure out off stream and then come back to when I know what the fuck I'm doing. I've made maps before. I never tried making a city map before. I should try to find one that I can use as reference that'll help me visualize it a little bit better. It's always good to have a reference when you're doing art. At least for me it is. Maybe that's because I'm not that good of an artist yet, but when you have something that you can use to put it in your mind, then you can. It's easier for me to be able to create something that I've never really drawn before. Fuck it, let's just use the Phandalin one from the D&D. Hello! Welcome to chat. We're trying to make an outpost in Inkarnate. I should make some kind of wall, some kind of boundary to show that this is like a sealed in cavern. Like, create your land masses? It sounds like kind of what I'm talking about. What's this do? Whoa! What the fuck? That was cool, but that wasn't really what I was going for. It's not really grass here. How do I change that? Is that just from the thing that I selected before? From the city watercolor or whatever? Interesting. So that's from. Oh, okay. So now that's why I can see the foreground. Right? Yes. Where's the green coming from? That's what I'm saying. Where is this green coming from? From? Oh, weird. What happens if I subtract? Is it going to take it away? Well, I hit fill all. Interesting. So maybe this is from the thing that I selected in the beginning. Maybe I can. These are on the background doesn't even show up when I do. Ah, what the fuck? So the add the landmass is on the foreground. Man, I really should have taken a refresher when I started doing this. Where is... Maybe it'd be best to just start over, actually. take a better look at these city maps, and maybe we can find one that's a little bit closer. See, that looks awesome. How do I do that? I want to make one of those. Look at all those. Those are all cool as shit. This is the one that I like the most, though. Let's do a medium, so hopefully it doesn't lag as much. Oh, what the fuck? That's small. Fuck that. How's the volume of the music, guys? It's not too high, is it? See if it does it again. Okay, yeah, it is green. I wonder, can you change? Is it up here? Advanced settings. So background doesn't go on top of the sculpted area, but I bet you do it on the foreground it will. So I'll just color that in. So here's what I'll do. Do this. Give it that kind of like rigid texture. And that's how I can make it look like it's in a cavern. And then I'll just color that in. And then I'll build the city in the middle. And then I can just change the background, right? And just color in the background. I want it to be a little more symmetrical, but hey, these things rarely are they? I don't know. I never carved a tunnel out of a mountain before. Post in the comments if you've tunneled through a mountain before and how symmetrical it was. There we go. That looks okay, I guess. Now, let's see what happens if I go to brush tool, go to foreground. Was there not a fill all? I thought I saw a fill. Oh, fill? Yeah, okay. Let's not make it that color. Let's make it. Where's that? This one? We're gonna make it like the street texture. Do that, and then fill. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. And then we can use the background layer. Excuse me. And then I can use a more of a light gray one. Maybe this like cobbled one. Ooh, yeah, that'll look good. Okay, and then fill. Yeah, bro. Look at that. Okay, cool. We're figuring it out. We're figuring it the fuck out. It's an okay. It's a safe. It's a mostly safe tunnel. You know, it's like it was used with the what is that spell called? Earth mold. Mold earth, is that what it's called? Let me Google it. Yeah, it's called mold earth. That's how they, or at least that's how I assume they built this tunnel. It's just a shit ton of druids just constantly casting cantrips, just frantically. Well, how much does it move? Target an area of loose earth. It's a 30-foot. It's a 5-foot. Oh, that would not. That would take so long. It's a 5-foot cube. That would take so long. You would need so many druids. Yeah, if you target an area of loose earth, and it's only loose earth, so rock and stone and shit probably wouldn't work. I forgot this was a cantrip. Whatever. I'm sure there's some kind of spell that druids would use to tunnel through a mountain. Still probably took a lot of druids. just like 100 druids just all frantically casting cantrips. I've amused myself. I wonder. So then, what? Are there any other street textures that would look okay in here? Maybe I can use this wooden one. It looks too much like wood, though. Let's take a look. I'll make it go down a little bit. Stay on the background. Actually, we could use the wood. So for sure would be a gate here. You know, that doesn't look amazing. For being honest, I actually hate the look of that. Looks like shit smear. Actually, you know what? Instead of doing that, I bet you there's a mother flippin' gate stamp. Open the catalog. Gate. See, look at that. What did I say? Red gatehouse. Let's use these. Two of them. Bush. Bush. Make them a little bit bigger. Well, bam. Whoa, that's too big. Something like that. And then maybe we spin it so it's facing this way. And then maybe instead of doing that, I'll just duplicate the other one so I don't have to worry about. Duplicate! Something like that. And then kind of do like a wall. Fuck yeah, I can do walls. Look at that. Look at that shit. Can you flip the other way, please? Oh, and there's different. Oh, cool. What am I doing? No! This is really hard to manipulate. things, making it hard to... Okay, there we go. Oop. And then... Boop. And then make a little gap in the middle. Oh no! I lost connection? Lost connection for a second. Are we good? Am I still on? I'm gonna assume we're still on until someone says otherwise, but it looks like the chat's still going. Okay, great. Oh, thank you, Dublin. Okay, thank you, guys. I wonder if there's a better gate than just these two wooden things. Let's take a look. I think what I have is fine. We're not trying to get too fancy, just to show what it looks like so that I can have an idea of what it looks like in my head. Oh yeah, I guess you weren't here, Doblin, for the lore. So basically this town is called, or it's like not really a town, it's an outpost called Cormont. Which is to the north of Respite, which is the city of adventurers that the last draft is about. And essentially it's a kind of border town that's like shared between the two different countries, the two different continents, and it's mostly run by like the different factions are like the different trading companies and trading companies that exist in the town. So we came up with a couple of different trading companies with different vibes, and yeah. So but yeah, it's built inside the mountain here. Fuck it, I'll pull up the map again. Boop. Inside this mountain where the Heart Peak Pass is this tunnel in the middle, and that goes underneath the mountain and eventually leads to Cormont. And this is the place, the city that most, or the outpost most of the merchants and different travelers will go through when they're trying to cross in between the two different continents. So it's constantly busy, constantly people from all over the world are coming through this very specific road, and so they get a lot of different travelers, and there's a lot of warehouses. Only one tavern, but it's a huge tavern. It's called the Post, and it has sort of it's like if you've ever been to like a Ruby Tuesdays or like a bar that has a lot of different shit all over the walls, that's like, oh, this is a baseball from Sammy Sosa's 100th game, or this is a picture of this guy who came here one time. It's like that, but for adventurers, or like the weird shit adventurers leave behind in a tavern. So it's like I don't know, like a weird glowing mineral that we found underneath somebody's bed, or stuff that adventurers have donated. So it's just a bunch of just stuff all over the walls. Some of them have plaques that explain what they are, some of them don't. And yeah, so that's most of what we talked about, and then now we're just kind of trying to build out this town. I would say that like, yeah, especially lower level adventurers mostly go through the Heart Peak Pass. It's a place where, because the tunnel isn't naturally made, it was created by the adventurers as a means of connecting the two continents, and was one of the first, like, big projects by the Adventurers Guild after they kind of created their little town. So yeah, this is for a D&D campaign. Yeah. So as I was kind of doing the last draft, and it was started off as just a, just a silly sketch thing that I could do that was just like based around D&D jokes. I can't help myself. I love world building, and so I started slowly putting stuff together and thought, hey, fuck it, let's make a, like, kind of almost meta D&D campaign setting where people who don't necessarily know that much about D&D can kind of get a taste of everything, even at the lower levels. So, like, because all of these mountain passes here in the Heart Peak Mountains are kind of, each one of them dips into like a different plane or a different element. So like the Underpass is the Underdark, the Primal Pass are the Elemental Planes, the Verdant Pass is the Feywild, the Frozen Pass is just like a weird frozen tundra, and then the Shadow Pass is like the Shadowfell. And so it is a, if you can basically get any kind of flavor that you want without, like, if you want to feel like you're in the Shadowfell without your players having to actually somehow go through a portal to the Shadowfell, you've got that here. So the Verdant Pass, like I said, is connected to the Feywild. So I would say it's probably the second most safe route, as long as you try to stay on the trail and you understand the danger of fairies and the Feywild and that sort of thing. So I would say that if for whatever reason that they didn't want to go through the Heart Peak Pass, like maybe they're trying to get through without having to get their goods checked or whatever, people could go through the Verdant Pass fairly easily, as long as they understand a little bit about the Feywild and about how fairies can be. Although, it's in a place full of illusions and whatnot, so you never know what's gonna get you. I did a one shot in this world for my cousin and his girlfriend, and then a bunch of people from my high school, and they got to pick which, it was between the Primal Pass and the Verdant Pass. There were two different quests, and they could choose which one that they wanted to do, and so they decided to go to the Verdant Pass. And the whole thing was that they needed to deliver some pastries from the local bakery that Heaven sent to some pixies in exchange for an herb that a local alchemist needed. So they take these pastries up into the Verdant Pass, and one guy who'd never played before, Donovan, he was trying to get into character even though he'd never played before, so he started doing a silly, like, kind of Cockney accent. He's like, "Oi, mate, what is it? Oh, that kind of thing." And I had made one of the fairies basically talk like that, almost exactly how, like, that same level of over-the-top Cockney accent. And it was something that made him just, like, it really connected him to the game, and, like, really, he was having trouble kind of getting into it and understanding how you can do anything, but also, you want to respect the other players' agency and all that stuff that comes with, like, playing D&D for the first time. But I felt like he really dialed in, because it was just like a really funny moment where we're both talking like this. He's like, "Oh, there, mate, what you think you're doing there? Give me them pastries, all right?" And yeah, no. So that's always a fun moment when you have a new player, and that moment happens where they just like kind of click in and they get it. And you can never tell what that moment's gonna be. Sometimes, you know, it's the death of a beloved NPC, and sometimes you do a silly voice and then it just tickles somebody. But yeah, so they did eventually give the pastries to the pixies for the herbs, and then later, as they were traveling back with the herbs, got attacked by someone trying to get the herbs back, because apparently the pixies had just been stealing them from somebody's garden. And so they got attacked for that. I forget what it was. I remember that it disguised himself as the alchemist, and they like almost trusted him, but then there was something that threw them off, and they were like, oh wait, what the fuck, why would he said he was gonna wait for us in respite, why is he here in the Verdant Pass with us? Yeah, so it was a good time. It was fun. Let's pull this back up. It would be helpful if I could tell stories and do this at the same time, but I am incapable of doing that. Maybe one day I'll be good at that, but currently, I do one-shots. I don't do them as often as I used to, and I do them both in person and online. I actually started playing Dungeons & Dragons online first. That's how I found a community, was through Critical Role. I was part of the like very first few critters as it was like starting to become popular on Geek and Sundry. Got into a small community there, and that's where I met the people that taught me how to play D&D and how to be a dungeon master, and it was really amazing. So, but I used to do a lot of one-shots for that community. I used to do a weekly one-shot like live stream where I would bring on new players, and we would stream them playing D&D for the first time. That was super fun. Always a great time. So that's something I kind of want to try implementing again, is doing one-shots in this world. I don't know if you guys know what a West Marches campaign is, but that's something I've always been interested in attempting to do. It's just really difficult, you know, scheduling stuff with adults, because we all have jobs, and, well, not just life's busy, so it's difficult to get people together for that kind of thing. But if you don't know what a West Marches campaign is, it's essentially like a collaborative, like, group. So, like, I'll use an example of the West Marches campaign that we tried to start. So basically there was a town in a sort of like a Lost, like the TV show, a Lost-esque island, and they had to go out from this one town called Keystone and explore and figure out what was up with this island. And you have a pool of several players and hopefully several dungeon masters. So yeah, scheduling is that would be maybe that's going to be one of the meta bosses. It's like the Lord of Time. Oh, you wanted to hang out with your friends? Well, guess what? His girlfriend has a kidney stone and has to go to the hospital. It's like, well, I can't even be upset about that, because dang, that sucks that she has a kidney stone. But fuck, man, I wanted to play. This is not a specific example, I just pulled that out of nowhere. What was I just talking about? Oh, the one-shots. Oh yeah, the West Marches campaign. So, you have a pool of players and a pool of dungeon masters, and then people just kind of schedule with whoever's available, and you know, you'll generally have like a community like quest board that people can choose quests from. And we actually had it all set up so that people could let's move this so that we can actually, so people could like slowly level up like the kind of goods and things that they could get from the from the towns, from the like town stores. So like once they spent enough money or whatever, it would level up the magic shop so that they would have instead of only having a standard healing potion, they would have a standard and a greater. So we had a lot of cool, like, kind of video gamey aspects all planned out to it, and that's something I want to. We started it and it kind of fell through just because of scheduling, like we said, and we never were able to really get going with it. But I would love for the opportunity to eventually do that again. But yeah, shout out to all the DMs who helped work on that. That was a really fun time. We didn't really get to use all the cool stuff that we made, but I still had fun making that shit. See if we can find any road. See, that one's just poopy. I don't like that one. It's poopy. Because it's already kind of dark. Maybe I just actually I guess it's not that dark. Maybe I can do one of these darker ones and it'll. Where's the streets? Square. Oh, interesting. And then you can fill it. Okay, I don't think that's gonna work, but whoa. Go away. How do I make it go away? Go away, I said. What the fuck? Okay. I made it go away. Doing a southern voice for your farmer character, your true Floridian. Is he a ranger with a beast companion that's a crocodile? A lot of people don't like think about that, but like Florida is the South. Like I know that like in some places that doesn't sound like it, but my one buddy is from the South, and he's very southern. I love southern accents. I've been trying to. One of the characters that I want to do. You know, I'm from the East Coast, Philly area, and Blood Hunter. Oh, see, that's great. I love that. I'm from the like Philly area, and there's a character that I want to do who has a Philly accent, but I never really fully had the Philly accent. I said a couple of things like wooder and bagel instead of bagel, but I never had the full accent. So it's I don't like the way that looks either. I don't want it to be soft neither. That's way better. So I've been trying to look for. There's not a lot of good examples in pop culture though, of like people from like South Jersey or Philly, to like really imitate that accent. I was thinking like Danny DeVito, but he's like more North Jersey, which is kind of more New York. Because the Philly accent's like, it's weird, man. It has like almost like surfer dude vibes. Because, you know, they talk about getting a soda and a hoagie, you know? Or like, you know, we're going home. Instead of going home, it's going home. It's fucking weird. And then like, use guys is a thing that people in Philly say all the time. Hey, use guys going home? See, now I kind of sounded a little Australian there. It's fucking hard. So I gotta find a South Philly person to listen to for a while. Like, excuse me, madam. Can you just talk words to me for a little while so I can nail your accent down? Thank you. Maybe not that. Soft. Maybe a little hard. Or wait, maybe not hard, maybe a little softer. Listen, you don't want to be too hard, okay? Whoops. Now I kind of feel like that's too big for the road, though. I've never actually played a Blood Hunter. I've always wanted to, though. That's one of the few ones I haven't played. I haven't played that. I haven't done Artificer. I haven't played the goddess Artemis. I have not been a patron of maidens or whatever. Is that what she was? I just remember in Percy Jackson it was like, why can't I get this? Whatever, good enough. I feel like I kind of want the road to kind of like do something like this, and then maybe have it like branch out a little, and then have it do that same thing on the other side. Something like this. I don't know if I like the color of this road though. Maybe it should be like a more dirt path. That doesn't really make sense though if you're underground. But yeah, if anybody has any questions about dungeon playing, being a dungeon master, about world building or fantasy or anything like that, hit me. Hit me with your best shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? But not really, I'm sensitive. Ugh, I hate this color. This texture is balls. What are you talking about? You just... Oh, okay, because I have a tag road up street. What's this one? Oh, that's that. See, I already used that. I can't use that again. What about this one? Yeah. I guess. Let's get these. Good enough. feel like this doesn't stand out enough. Maybe I should add. Maybe I should add the land or whatever. Maybe that'll make it look more like a road. That's too small. Change the color of it, but I think no, I feel like no, because it looks too much like it's on top of. Oh, this weird one. So that one's too similar as well. Like any of these cobbled ones are just not gonna be, they're gonna be too close to. Well, you know what? I think this might actually be a decent stopping point. I was only gonna do an hour of streaming. I was going to work on some other stuff. Maybe this tan one. Gotta look at my reference again. Where's my reference? Oh, I closed out of it. Of course I did. You know, after looking away and looking back, it's gotta be like some kind of gray. Maybe I will rethink the whole of this being, maybe instead of the whole of it being cobblestone. Yeah, the reference was eaten by mimics. Maybe instead of this whole thing being cobblestone, next time I do this, I'll come back, make it all like some kind of gray, and then do the cobblestone as the road. So maybe that'll look a little bit better. Next time I'll come in with more of a plan for what for building this out. I think that might be the why is the word not coming to my mind? The structure of these streams that I will do, like the world building review or whatever, the talking about whatever piece of world thing I've crafted in the first half, and then the second half will be building out the place, and maybe I'll have a better plan. Like I'll come in with a plan of attack, and then we can maybe, like, if we get a bunch of people in chat, we can chat can start helping name things, and we can like make this thing together. I would love I'm always about collaborating, and D&D is a collaborative storytelling effort, and I always feel like when other people get to leave their mark on your world, it makes it feel like it lives and breathes more, because everyone has a different perspective. The more perspectives that you can show in your world that aren't one that came from you, it makes it feel more alive. But I think this is probably the best stream I've done so far. We had a few people in chat there at one point. Tomorrow we will be doing tomorrow is going to be a challenge. We're doing a Baldur's Gate drinking stream where I will here, actually, let me see if I can pull up the rules that I have. I think we're gonna adjust them slightly just because there's one that's sort of redundant. But yeah, I think we're probably gonna do probably at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna be doing the Baldur's Gate drinking game, and we'll see how that goes. I'm not particularly that much of a drinker. I like to have a beer here and there, but I don't go hard, I would say. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it goes. Here we go. Throw this into here. Can you see that, chat? Hold on, let me make it smaller. Yeah, so you take a drink when you miss an attack, your attack hurts an ally, you fail a skill check, you get knocked prone, a companion disapproves of a decision, the companion doesn't follow you after jumping, you take a short rest, you fail a saving throw. So that was the one that's redundant with the you get knocked prone, because you have to fail a saving throw to get knocked prone. So you'd have to drink twice then. So I feel like that's not necessary. So we'll probably remove that one. And then you take a shot when you crit fail, when you die, or when your entire party fails a perception or survival check. So I think that's a pretty decent little checklist there, which is not too harsh, but I feel like will be. Yeah, I think I'll be all right. I'm a tough lad, but we're gonna probably limit the stream to like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Or if I feel like if I start getting those cold sweats that mean I'm about to toss my lunch, we'll end the stream there too. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. I definitely won't do them that often, but it was an idea that my cousin had, and I was like, that sounds like fun. So and people love challenges, so yeah, maybe it'll be worth it. But then next week we'll do another world building stream, and then we'll go back to Skyrim Reincarnated, and those will be what we stream for next week. So yeah, I'm excited for more stuff to come. I'm really been enjoying making stuff for Last Draft, and yeah, I'm just like really pumped for all the stuff. I have a couple of really good scripts that I just came up with recently that I'm excited for you guys to see. But yeah, appreciate you guys for watching. There was something I was gonna say at the end for the YouTube edit. Oh right, and also for people watching, I have a bunch of social medias. You should be able to find them in the description. For Bluesky, I have Twitter, I have a TikTok, and I also have a Discord channel that you can join that I'm going to be using to post announcements. It's the schedule, and we'll try to build a community where we can all play fucking games together and make cool shit. So if you're interested in that, feel free to join. There's not a whole lot of people. It's mostly people I know, but yeah, feel free to join that if that's probably the easiest way to get information about what's going on with Last Draft. So thanks, y'all. Really appreciate it. Have a great night, and we'll see you on the next quest.